Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to our agenda meeting. Tonight being Wednesday, October 30, and for the record, the time is 7 p.m. We have some public comments tonight. We've had one person sign up to speak. This is Janice Meadows. Would you come to the podium, please, and state your name and address? And you have a 3-minute time limit to speak as you wish.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Janice Meadows. My address is 1104 Fairfield Road, of course, Nashville. The photos, have they been submitted?
We have these here.
Some photos I want to submit. And if you'll pass those down one at a time so that you could quickly view those. I'll give you just a few seconds on that. First, I want to read a couple of things to you. I won't take time to read the entire statements, but only what is relevant to my reason for speaking tonight. These statements are from the Town of Nashville website under Planning and Development Department. Part of the mission statement is, we do this by protecting property values. Under zoning administration, it states, staff applies plans that increase property values. Do these photos represent increasing and protecting property values? In the Fairfield subdivision, like some other areas in town, there are homeowners that do not maintain their property, therefore depreciating the value of those that do. This house that you see in the photos is in the Fairfield subdivision. It is in dire need, and I emphasize dire need of repairs to the outside, causing it to be quite unsightly, plus an unkept yard, which too is unsightly. To the homeowners that live around it, it is embarrassing and it is disheartening to know that it is depreciating our property value. A few times over the years, the issue has been presented to the town planning department, but to no avail. We were told by a former planning director that if we got a petition signed by a certain number of signatures, or with a certain number of signatures, they would address the issue. We did, nothing was done. We were told by another former planning director that a letter had been sent to the homeowners. So we're sending those letters, the only way of addressing the issues. And what did those letters state was requested of the homeowner? Did anyone follow up on the letters? With nothing being done to the property, it continues to worsen. There must be something that can be done. Mayor, council members, how would you feel if you lived in the near vicinity of this house? And what if you tried to sell your house and couldn't because of that? So I go back to the statements that I read at the beginning from the town planning department about protecting and increasing property values. We earnestly and respectfully ask that action be taken other than just sending letters so that our property values are protected and will increase.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. In regard to that issue, this is not the first time this has come to us. This has been working on us for years and years and years. And a number of years ago, I'm talking now about many years ago, we had the health department look into this stuff they had in the backyard because they had rat problems back there. And some of that stuff got moved, but I don't think it got moved well enough to get rid of everything that you needed. And yes, you're right, it's a real problem, and let us work with that, see what we can do, because we do have some enforcement authorities on some things. The issue, of course, as you know, deals with whether or not it is considered substandard housing, and substandard housing is determined by the county, not by us. Now, substandard means a lot of different things. Being dirty does not constitute substandard. Dirty, of course, constitutes health hazards, and that's where we have to come from. So let us take this under advisement. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a joint public hearing with our planning board, which I'd like to welcome them here tonight. This is to receive comments on 2019-02 request to amend the zoning ordinances, adding the creation of a tree board and the regulations following the Tree City USA guidelines, of which we have a rather complex issue here with changing language and things to create this thing. And the summary of the issue runs like this. The town has agreed to pursue the Tree City USA designation as part of becoming a Tree City USA town. A tree ordinance with specific requirements must be approved by the council. The ordinance contains languages that have been approved for use by Tree City USA and many other municipalities in the state. Some of the requirements of the ordinance are already enforced by the town, and to make the ordinance streamlined, those sections of the current ordinance have been struck through to be removed. And the rest of this follows the text where we have created two things: one, an advisory board for the tree board to work as part of our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and the other part considers enforcement, which comes under our land use regulations, which are maintained and disciplined by the town. And everything we've got here includes the presentations by Tree City USA requirements. So at this point in time, as this is a public hearing, does anyone from the general public have anything to say about creating our town as a Tree City USA? Anyone from the general public have any questions about any issues about us creating a Tree City USA? Yes.
What is Tree City USA?
Ma'am?
What is Tree City USA?
A Tree City USA is a program that's designed to encourage the natural growth of the environment in communities, in towns. It protects trees, protects shrubberies. It requires building the planting of trees in areas where there are no trees, or preserving those that are already in place. And as you know, urban areas over time slowly become stripped of trees as trees overgrow areas and things. And not only is it a plan of planting them and encouraging them and maintaining them, it's also a replanting process for those who get removed. And we've been working with this thing for some years now. We've been replanting trees in areas around town where trees have been taken down and dying off, like the big oak trees downtown. We've been working with that for the longest kind of time, because urban forest has been one of my things for the longest kind of time. And we're working with the county with a little cedar forest over now behind the art center. Okay. Any further comment from the general public concerning our Tree City USA? Any comments from the council?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is the board an advisory board?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all advisory. Mhm.
And there will be 4 or 5 people selected for that board? Or?
The advisory board will be made up of the same members as the Parks and Recreation Cultural Resources Board. So they'll wear 2 hats when they meet as the tree board. They'll be meeting on tree board projects, for Tree City projects. So they'll be approving projects that staff proposes for the Tree City. And so they're going to be under the same regulations and requirements as the Parks, Recreation and Cultural Resources Board. So it'll be made up of the same members for the same terms, and there'll be no compensation for serving on the board. It is an advisory board, and they'll just meet as part of when they meet for the Parks and Recreation, they'll adjourn their Parks and Recreation meeting, commence as a tree board, do any tree board business, and then adjourn their tree board meeting. So it'll be the same people that are on the Parks and Recreation.
I was just wondering if it might be good to have a separate tree board of people who are really interested in trees.
Yeah. I'm wondering the same thing from a different point of view. If you're wearing 2 hats, will you get yourself compromised in some place where you cannot make a fair decision on this thing? And should we not have two boards, in fact, one advising the other?
Well, the advisory, is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Very,
Okay.
a little.
So, is this better?
Can I hear? No, we're not picking up on the recording. As loud as you can go without feedback. Well, you got all we can get without feedback.
All right, so
Go ahead.
I'll just try to project a little bit more so you
Okay.
can hear. So the reason why we picked the Parks Recreation Board to be the same board as the tree board is because most of the tree projects will be in the parks area and for the Parks and Recreation area. So we'll be enhancing our Stony Creek Park and enhancing some of the parks around town. So we picked the Parks and Recreation Board to be the same board as the tree board so that there wouldn't be a conflict. The tree board only is an advisory board, so they don't do quasi-judicial processes. It's just a straight business meeting. There's no legislative processes. And as the advisory board, they're bringing you all the actual decisions. So anything that they recommend will still come to you for approval. So you will be the approving authority on whatever the tree board recommends. So it's not, I don't believe, in my professional opinion, that there will be a conflict of interest between the two boards. They go hand in hand, which is why we decided to put them together. And as the town council being the approving authority, you'll be able to make those decisions if there is by some chance there is a conflict, you'll be able to express those interests. The other part of that is the Parks, Recreation, Cultural Resources Advisory Board meetings are open to the public. Generally, they don't have people come, but they are open to the public. They are advertised, and anybody who is interested can come and be part of those meetings. So you can come, you can speak, you can be involved in the projects, you can volunteer, you can come and be a part of the stuff that we're doing as part of staff, as part of the board, as part of Tree City USA, and we encourage that participation. But those meetings are open to the public, so we can get that feedback.
But much of the text in here speaks to not only just the parks, but also streets, thoroughfares, right-of-ways.
It's for where the trees are going to be planted. So yes, it's parks, but it's also when we do site development reviews to make sure that the site plans are having the street trees planted. And so that's handled at a staff level. So that's handled at TRC time. And so that's why some of that language is in the zoning code, because it's not up to the tree board. The tree board will approve the projects for Tree City. But as far as enforcement and as far as what the projects are going to be and the enforcement for where the trees are going for site development review and to make sure that the large shade trees are where they need to be, that instead of a large shade tree, you have a smaller tree, if there's going to be overhead power lines, that all that decision is under the zoning code, because that's where it needs to be for us to be able to enforce it and have that conversation with developers under the technical review committee.
I have two questions. Before any enforcement, be it removal or planting, the council will have an option to look it over before any action is taken. Is that correct?
Well, some of the stuff, yes, and some of it, no. So if we have a code violation, we handle that at staff level. Code violations don't go before the board for approval before we send the notice of violation out.
Right.
However, for most site plan reviews, you are seeing those site plans, and you are involved in that process for the plat reviews and for final plats to make sure that the developments are done according to the ordinances. So you guys still have construction plat review approval.
But that's for new
That's for
developments.
new
New developments.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other municipalities in the area that are tree cities?
Yeah, well, as far as Nash County, I'm not certain of the municipalities here, but all through Lake County and in the surrounding region, yes.
Name a few.
Zebulon's one.
Okay.
They've been in Tree City for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
Wendell is one. They've been in Tree City, I think, for almost 20 years. Wake Forest is
Okay.
City of Raleigh. So as you're going that way, I believe Fayetteville is one. I believe Wilson is one. So the municipalities around, I'm not sure about the smaller municipalities like Bailey,
Right.
Middlesex, but the larger ones that are comparable to our size, they are Tree City USA members. And part of that, as being part of Tree City USA, you do a project, you can do one project a year, also it talks to the money and staff time that we're doing to continue that tree health around the year. So you're spending it's $2 per capita for those tree projects, and we're hitting that with our staff time, our volunteer hours, and the money that we're putting into the trees. And so for Tree City USA, there is a large application process with a large checklist to make sure that you're hitting all these things to be designated a Tree City USA. And you have to reapply every year. And the longer you are in the program, the more accolades you receive, and the stronger your program is, and the more you open yourself up to funding, grant funding, and some bragging rights, because being a Tree City USA is a very big deal. With the Arbor Day and the Earth Day celebrations and the spring cleanup and the environmental push that we're having right now to make sure that we're protecting our green spaces and protecting the air quality. Tree City USA is a good way to help that community stay healthy.
So you did just say that with that involvement, we'd have to renew it every year?
We do have to apply every year.
Okay.
So you have to show that you have the ordinance still in the books, that you're meeting, the tree board has met, that the meeting requirements for all the per capita requirements, that you're doing, that you followed the guidelines for the year, and you reapply every year.
But I guess what I'm saying, if it comes out to be something that doesn't fit this town, after that 1 year's membership, we can back out?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to recommend you consider as sub-advisors or somebody from the transportation department. That's where the tree's gonna be. And probably somebody from the public utility companies, because, Duke Energy has got great interest in our trees as they punch into the utility lines around here, which they seem not pay too much attention to.
As part of our site plan review for TRC, the Technical Review Committee, we have DOT sit in on our committee. We have Bobby Liverman, who sits on our committee, so he reviews it from DOT and the transportation side. And if we run into larger power lines or site where we have electrical utilities that need to be considered, we do call Duke and ask them to.
Well, that's a very important thing, because they're the overhead people now.
Yeah, that process is already in place.
Yeah, okay. The other questions?
I noticed there are a lot of penalties. Are the rules and regulations applying to private property, say beyond the right-of-way?
Yes. If there's a dead or diseased tree on the property, that needs to be removed for the public health and safety, especially if it's far enough onto the property line that the tree fall may still happen to be onto a public right-of-way. We do have the regulations that we can go in and say that you need to remove the dead or diseased tree. And that protects public safety. Because some of the larger trees in town, the tree fall may not be a certain way, especially during hurricanes. And if it's a large enough span, kind of like a cell tower when they crumble, you've got that fall zone that you need to be clear. And if the right-of-way is within the fall zone, also what it does is it makes sure that the right-of-way is clear from an overhead standpoint. So the 13-foot clearance is so that trucks and traffic can go through. So if you had dead hanging limbs or trees that are interfering with that safe passage, that also needs to be trimmed.
But if it doesn't fall outside the fall zone, say into public right-of-way, do you still go onto public property and remove a tree?
We don't go onto public property, but
Private
we can
property.
send a letter saying that you
I'm
need to
private
take care
property,
of it.
I'm sorry, private property.
Yeah, we will not go onto private property, but we will send a letter saying that as part of our ordinances, we are concerned about tree health, and we can send a violation letter saying that tree needs to be removed as part of tree health and safety for public purposes.
So if they don't remove the tree, then what happens?
We can do a couple things. We can, basically what we can do right now is we can hire an arborist to come in and then put that fee back into the property owner. We have a lien process where we do that for code violations, outstanding code violations, where we do that now. Typically what we do is we send in a work order. For this, felling trees is not necessarily within our public works scope, so we would have to hire a professional, and then we would push that back onto as a
So who makes the determination whether a tree is in such a state that it's affecting the health, welfare of the community or of,
If we think there's a tree, we call the arborist in.
and so they make the
We
determination?
call the Forest Service and we
Okay.
call the arborist in to make that determination.
Now here I see that anyone can make an appeal, but it says from any ruling or order. That sounds very judicial. Do you mean from that piece of paper that says you must?
Yes.
Okay, so what is that going to be? What do we refer to that in our books?
Basically, it's a staff decision.
But it's like a violation letter,
It's a-
right?
It's a violation, it's a code violation, because this is in our code of ordinances, so it's considered a notice of violation.
So can we change that from ruling or order to notice of violation so that it's very clear how people can appeal it?
Yes.
Okay.
Going through this entire package here, that section 18.413 was the only one I had a concern with because it did address the private property type issue, and I'm not fully on board with that. That's my question.
I also have another question in 18.416, where it says that it shall be unlawful for any person to prevent, delay, or interfere with the city tree board or its agents when engaging in the planting, cultivating. Now, it was my understanding that the tree board is simply just making, they're advisory. They're just passing on what the plan should be. They're not physically doing anything. So shouldn't this be the director or her designees or their designees?
Well, and that's where it says, or the agents, we can change that, for clarity to the, town manager or planning director,
Otherwise, you're gonna have some homeowner getting into it with the board.
and what we
That's
do
what it
right
sounds
now,
like.
And some of our notice of violations that we've sent out, we have had people come out and, try to interfere with public works. And, that prevents us from mitigating anything, even in the right of way. So we have had homeowners come out and try to stop our public works people from doing their job after we've issued a work order for those notice of violations. So this helps protect our staff when we
Okay.
send.
It can say
people
town
out.
employees or
Yeah.
something to make it more clear.
Okay.
And then there was just a couple of other areas where it says that we have the right to do certain things. I'd like to just add that we don't have the obligation to do so.
Okay.
And as we have many problems now with trees in poor condition, is anything going to be grandfathered?
As far as tree health, no. As far as where new trees need to be planted, yes. So, if you have a development that didn't have street trees or didn't have shade trees, we're not going to make you go back and put those trees in. But if there's a dead or diseased tree in town, we need to make, or there's a property that has a lot of undergrowth, or needs to be cleaned up because of that undergrowth that brush is creating an unsafe habitat, we will be able to enforce that.
Okay, very good. Other comments? Okay, there being none, we'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Been moved, second.
And second.
We go out of public hearing. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. According that's closed. Okay, the next item is consideration of annexation. We have a resolution to adopt to authorize the clerk to test the legal sufficiency of a petition for annexation concerning a piece of property out on First Street, 1807 First Street. The occupants there, Mr. William Creech, has requested voluntary annexation, and all the descriptions and metes and bounds of his properties are there, and we need to adopt a resolution to empower the clerk to make the search for the legal sufficiency of the deed. And the resolution 2019-24 reads, resolution directing the clerk to investigate a petition received under North Carolina General Statute 168-31 annexation petition number 2019-02. Whereas petition AP number 2019-02, requesting annexation of an area described in said petition was received on October 21, 2019 by the Nashville Town Council. And whereas North Carolina General Statute 168-31 provides that the sufficiency of the petition shall be investigated by the town clerk before further annexation proceeding may take place. And whereas the Town Council of the Town of Nashville deems it advisable to proceed in response to this request for annexation, now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Nashville that the town clerk is hereby directed to investigate the sufficiency of the above described petition and to certify as soon as possible to the Town Council the result of her investigation, adopted this 30th day of October 2019 with appropriate signatures and attestation. Does the chair hear a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Okay, Madam Clerk, you are now authorized to go. But, see how something goes? You're jumping all over there. Okay, item number 5, council comments. Mr. Taylor, got comments?
No, Mayor, I'm about sick. I think I keep my mouth shut.
And I must explain, Mr. Charles Taylor's not here tonight because he's got a similar situation.
I wish
Matter
you
of
could
fact,
take mine.
I talked to him this afternoon about 3 o'clock. He was down with a fever of 102 and has had for some days now. He's in terrible condition. Okay, Ms. Hinton, comments?
I appreciate Ms. Meadows coming before the council. There are any number of derelict properties all over town that need to be addressed. And it takes citizens to come forward to shine the light on it. Thank you.
Okay, comments?
I second that. I'm very appreciative that you came forward. I know that there's something that we can to do to help these properties that are in need, and it's bringing us to our attention and making us aware of it that allows us to help you fix it. That's what we're here to do, help you.
Yep. And that's what we're here for. Thanks for coming. I'd like to thank everybody else for coming. We're going to move to a closed session now, and you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. The planning board is going to meet meanwhile, and well, in a closed session, we're going to be talking to issues concerning economic development, and we'll report out after that if anybody wants to stay. The chair here motion to go into closed session.
So made.
Second.
Been moved and second, we're going to closed session to discuss economic development. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, good.